Hello, everybody. It is time. It's been a long time, it feels like. A Wednesday comment review. Now, there haven't been many videos in the last couple weeks because, I was in the Shadow Realm. But I did pick some really good comments and I went quality over quantity because, that's what we had to work with. And let me tell you, the quality on these comments is really good, or they just make for a good time. So today we're going to review some of, not this week's comments, but the last couple weeks, and we're just going to talk and discuss. If you want to be in this video, leave a comment at some point, and you might make it in, and like and subscribe, and that's all nice. Zenitsu is going to start us off today. They could have done better with the other card picks. So we're talking about the Heroine set, by the way. Like, the two Secret Rare Tamers are super nice to get reprints of, but everything else is lacking to compensate for the big W. I guess that's okay, because of all anyone, even Bandai, cared about was the secret. I guess all anyone ever cared about was the secret rare reprints, making the product have good instant value. Could the set have been better? Yes, but we got what. But what we got was fine. I fixed that for you. Yeah, this is just typical card product cash and grab. You have a set that's like 90% bulk and crap, but then you have the 10% that sells that has all the shit in it, and that's why you buy it. Digimon's actually done it before a lot of times, but they did it again with this set, right? They know that no one really cares about the other cards. They know that people are going to buy this primarily for the Arena and the Miri, and they know that maybe someone will like the other stuff too, but they know what they're doing. They're just basically, they're selling you 2 Arenas and 2 Miris, and the rest for $45. And the rest is just collateral damage. Or just extra, whatever. That's what it is. That's what they're doing. They know they're doing it. Bandai knows. It's just a marketing move. And that's what it is. It's like buying a starter deck. Kind of. Same shit. You know what you're going to get. Doesn't change. It's fine. Justin, so, none of these anime girls are as hot as Mario. That is true. And I will just take that and move on with it. Thank you. Hobo Bandit. I have included this comment because I know nothing about this, and maybe someone in the comment section can help Hobo Bandit out here. They have my account messed up. I can't log in. It says I need to use an email from before April 2025, which my email was registered in 2021. Then when I start a new account, it won't let me because my phone number is already registered with the old account. I hope they don't sell out. To me, it shouldn't be that stupid, but the easy fix is just use someone else's phone number, like your friends or your partners or your parents or whatever. Use a different phone number, make a new account, call it a day. But if there's actually a solution to this, someone in the comments, help the guy out. Moving along. Legend 258471B. I went against her advice and was the first person to buy an errata SP for 200. I need 1 for collection's sake and 2 more for the deck, so I felt like fine spending it to guarantee the collection one and 1 to gamble on the other 2. Haha! I hope for your sake the gamble pays off. 200 is probably not that bad in retrospect, but we will only know when we know. Don't forget that SP cards tend to sometimes explode. They do one of 3 things. Sometimes they stay the same, but usually they either tank or some of them explode past recognition and any logical thought. So we'll see where errata falls up. Errata's unfortunately not that good. I actually think errata is one of the worst tamers in the set. So I'm inclined to think it's going to drop a lot. But, hopefully, for your sake, I'm wrong. Hopefully. I don't know. Or if I guess I'm wrong, you buy them for cheaper anyway, so. But then you could have bought the third one for cheaper, too. We'll see what happens. We'll follow it very closely, obviously. It's Guicho. Says, that person spent $60 for 2 rares. That poor soul. Remember the guy that spent $60 on 2 War Raymon rares, PT22? Don't buy the pre-sales. It's a fucking terrible idea. And that is just gouging. Dark Lord Kuro. Errata isn't a waifu, it's a guy. On the other hand, we are in 2025. I won't judge. I think the technical term is husbando, but, errata. Everyone likes errata. Alright. I never usually include comments this long, but this one is just a really, really good analysis, and why I was okay picking quality over quantity and going less comments this time. Oops, Agumon here says, I think part of the issue comes with the lack of NATOs. So by the way, this is referencing the video I made with the event schedule and how Europe was just killing North American events. The ones we do have are spread so thin because Bandai is still trying to support 6 games at once. EU, I could see it being easier as each country only needs one, and because of that, the one TO per country is kept busy with each of the different games a different week. I'm not there, so I don't know for sure, but it would make sense if that is the case. The poor pricing and trash meta makes this year easily one of the worst competitive years on top of the fewer events overall. Bandai has a lot of work ahead of them if they want to fix this for next year to make the game better, but part of me thinks that is asking too much from them. So Nitsu mentioned on his podcast that even with the Storm Regionals and the NA Nationals would not fill the current cap that Regionals are at, and Bandai is doing LCQs at Nationals to fill in the gaps. I would like to see collab between you two, as you both have similar mindsets, but I get if you're busy with other things to try. There's a lot here, so I'm actually going to work backwards. If I do my podcast, there will be collabs. I'm sure at some point Zenitsu will be on if I start my podcast, and we'll have a nice little 15-minute segment just shooting the shit about this kind of stuff, I'm sure. If they're doing LCQs, that is cool. But it is true that Nationals will be small. Absolutely. The poor pricing and trash meta part, prizing is not as good as it was. Last year was Serial Omnimon. Like, hello? And what do we get this year? Just crap? Like, it's awful. The prizing this year the Serial Omnimon was a bump in the right direction, and then we're back to regular, just declining garbage. And the trash meta, oh god. Don't even get me started. Yeah, it's not helpful. Bandai does have to fix it. But, to their credit, online events still cap out, and a lot of people still go to the in-person events. So Bandai just looks at that and says everything's fine. People still buy the product. Bandai still makes money. They don't really care because it's all fine. And then let's go back to the top paragraph here. I don't really know much about the Europe side of things, so I would need a European, preferably a TO or someone that works at a European card store that hosts these events to chime in and say what's going on with this. But this is what happens, when you try to be a master, when you try to be a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a master of Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic is a master of Magic, Pokemon, whatever. Pokemon's just fucking huge. But Bandai goes with the jack of all trades. They have a basket of different card games, and they say, pick one and work with it. And they try to juggle the baskets. And that's what they do. That's their approach. So obviously they're going to put their effort in the games that are presenting them the biggest bang for the buck, which appears to be One Piece, and the Gundam seems to be exploding. So that will also not help Digimon. But, Bandai is trying to spice things up for Digimon. It is the anniversary, and the online client might change things. Maybe it'll be online client regionals, and, maybe they'll fix the support, and I think we're past fixing the game. I think the game is broken and unfixable unless something crazy happens, which I'm not really advocating for. Unless it's a nuclear ban list. I'd advocate for that, but rotation, no. It's just the way it is. Card games power creep. Sometimes they explode. Digimon is moving faster than average. What can you do? Bandai. But really good comment overall. Bursarian. Being half German explains your usual happiness status and sense of humor. Yes, I am not a happy camper. I'm a very pessimistic person, and that's maybe the half German in me. I don't know. What's interesting, though, if you want some more lore, my mom is the German one, and she is a happy camper. But my dad, being the Italian one, is pessimistic. If anything, I got that from him. But I'm also way more pessimistic than my dad is. So I don't know what happened. But, yeah, I'll just leave it there. X Lost Mine. Digimon is dead in the West. Here we go. Poor prizes, better TCGs to pick up with way better support and larger community to play with. It's not dead. And we need to stop saying that, because it really isn't dead. Digimon is still firing on a lot of cylinders, It is, objectively speaking. I'm not even making that up. Digimon is fine. But, as mentioned in a previous video, and I mentioned previously, you know, a lot of card games are coming out. A lot of new ones are coming out. A lot of hype is happening around card games coming out. Like Gundam's really hyped, Riftbound is really hyped, and there's other card games to come. So if shit doesn't get itself sorted, things could get worse. But I think we're a long ways away from that even happening. Do they need better prices? I agree. That'll help, but things are moving fine. Like when I say things are moving fine, I am not a particular fan of the direction in which things are going, but people are still buying the products, and Bandai is still making a fortune off this game. So as far as Bandai goes, and the players that do enjoy the game, that don't have a cynical, pessimistic outlook like I do, everything is business as usual. Demon Croc. Did people know sets like EX6BT16 were going to be OP at launch, or is this all hindsight? A little bit of both. The sets were broken. Absolutely crazy. Magna X, fuck. Demon Lords, sets were insane. What didn't help was the lack of product, and that really did push it over the edge. So, a little bit of both. We didn't know how low the supply was going to be on the set. On both sets, in particular. A block of tofu. This is the last comment of the day. Base art super rare and promo prices have started to put me off the game. And you know what? Yeah. It has only gotten worse. Now, when we talk about this, we have to understand that budget is a subjective thing. Not everyone's budget is going to be the same. Some people can afford to lottery card out their decks and have a nice day. But some people can't, right? And that's the fact that we're dealing with. So when the price overall does increase, what do? Do you play the decks you don't really want to play because you can only afford the decks you don't want to play? Like, for example, if you're an All Force enthusiast, you love All Force, you love everything about All Force, but you look at your budget for the month and you say, there's no fucking way. By the time I buy the pieces I need, the deck's going to be dead. It's going to be 2026 or something like that. It is a rock and a hard place. And, we are living in an environment where, yes, inflation seems to be stable at what inflation levels are, but there's a lot of shit happening in the world. Things are getting expensive, and things could literally change at any moment. So it's a crazy place right now. And people do need to make decisions. Like, do I not participate in the hobby? Do I find a cheaper hobby? And these are all legitimate decisions, right? Like, as I found out with the yellow vaccine adventure I had a while ago, I can afford to get lottery cards of every yellow vaccine card and have fun with it. But is that a smart use of my money? Well, the answer is no, because I'd rather just throw that money in the stock market, and I've been rewarded. Because if I put that money, if I kept going down that yellow adventure I was on, my investment would have been poopo. But you have to make decisions that make sense for you, right? Some people don't care. Some people will lottery card out their decks. They'll be happy. They don't care because they just want to play the game with the arts. They want to play the game. They have the disposable income. They just run with it. They don't care. And that's fine. But for those of you that do care, the game is getting more expensive. And that's something that the budget players will have to deal with more and more and more. And then one day make that decision. Do you stop or do you try to make it work? And, I support whatever you support. If you sit and you tell me, Mario, there's no way I can do it, I gotta spend my money on other things, I believe you. And that's what you should do. But if you tell me, Mario, I think I can afford to play Digimon still, then do it. Have fun while you enjoy the game. Enjoy yourself. So that's, we talk about this a lot, and I'm sure this conversation topic will come up again real soon. So we'll leave it there today. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!